And I'm going to take my prerogative to ask him one or two questions just in the beginning. When I walked up to him, I asked him something about why is he doing this kind of thing. So let me ask you that question. So why, what are you doing teaching at 3 universities? What are you doing trying to circulate yourself in this academic space? Because one thing is teaching, that's what we do, but we enter a very critical notion that hangs on almost every single thing you say and what it means.
Why am I teaching at 3 universities?
Three at the same time.
At the same time.
Catching planes, staying in bread and breakfast.
Yeah, and all that. Well, first and foremost, I have 2 daughters, so they like everything. Everything. I don't know, man, just trying to, if you have a passion for something, the thing about people that has passions for what they believe in, they try to really get everybody else to understand it too, right? Whenever you have a passion in, you know, other people just brush it over. They just, whatever, they're like, okay, I don't really, if you have a passion for making microphones, people that use microphones, I don't really care how the microphone works, I just use it, right? And I think hip hop is one of those things that people have used so much and taken away from so much, and now it's become like water to people. Me, I'm just trying to get everybody to understand the genius of this, because we take when it comes to the media, with all of, you know, the recent police brutality incidents, hip hop is always the blame, you know what I mean? Like, from the way we dress, to, you know, everything. I'm just trying to get people to understand the true meaning of what it was when it started, right? And not only people that don't understand, people I feel like they should understand, even my own people, even the generation before me, to understand that, hey, like, don't give us any pushback, because we're basically trying to keep going what you started, but in a different way, right? And that's been my life's blood, you know what I mean?
So in this academic part, what does this film, what work are you trying to do with this particular film in that space? Because this is a film of you in that academic context.
You know, just talking about it and, you know, telling people about it, sometimes that's not good enough. TV works in mysterious ways.
I learned that.
When you show it to them on TV, everybody's like, oh, okay. That makes the conversation come to life. And we have to understand that people receive things in different ways, you know, and we really wanted to do that when it came to this film. Just to see DJ Premier, Young Guru, Kendrick Lamar, and Henry Louis Gates in the same field, speaking on the same topic from 2 different directions. That makes the hip hop audience, gives it a lot of respect. Because if I made this film and it didn't have any of our peers in it, everybody like, this is not a hip hop. It has nothing to do with it. But at the same time, I'm also trying to garner the academic side respect too. So if I don't have anybody from the academic side in the film, then it doesn't. So I'm coming at, again, 2 different directions. Because sometimes when you're teaching, you have to come in many different directions, because you're dealing with so many people coming from so many different backgrounds. You just can't be linear with your approach. So
how have people been receiving the film?
It's been, you know, I showed it for we debuted for the first time at the Full Frame Film Festival last year. And I spoke on, this is how you know when stuff is real. I spoke on NPR a few times. And so I go to pick my 10-year-old from school, and one of her teachers, who we don't have a lot of conversation, right? Because, you know, just to be honest, some Southern teachers don't believe black fathers exist, so that's a whole nother class. So we don't have a lot of conversation. So she come up to me, she said, Mr. Douthat, I heard you on the radio this morning. I'm like, what? Like, I'm not, and I'm thinking, I'm like, I know you're not listening to the urban affiliate. And she said, no, I heard you on NPR. I'm coming to see the movie. I'm like, wow. So when we get to the movie, we showed it in the Carolina Theater, which is in Durham. It was 1,000 people there. 60% no, I'm sorry, 70% was Caucasian. Out of the 70% of the Caucasian population in the, I would say over half of those folk was over the age of 50. So now you got people coming to me at the end of the film saying, okay, I want to get started. So where should I start? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, so should I start at, what album should I pick? Let's start. Because now you're dealing with generations of people whose sons and daughters, these are white people, sons and daughters who's listening to this noise in the room all this time. And so now I got a husband and wife that came up, it was like in their 60s. Came in and said, we're going to buy Illmatic, right? We're going home. And she's like, I told my son you would want to be here, and he was going crazy. And blah. So they said they went home and listened to Illmatic with their son for the first time, 20 years after it was released. So that's, once you get into that space and that space of understanding, then you're talking about something totally different, right? So that's, that's been some of the reaction.